Well, good morning. It's been a while since we talked about LSAT. I've really not had a whole lot to say because I've just been practice and review. No new stuff. I did have some good scores. I had a 158 one time, so that was good. And then the next week I had a 153, so that was bad. Uh, the explanation on the 153 was that I didn't actually sleep very much the night before. I probably like ate some sugar or some caffeine or something too late, and that's a no for me. Just getting a little breakfast here while I get ready for another practice test today. So October test date's coming up. I may have said that I did do the August test and failed miserably. I didn't say that part yet, but I had a 149, and the reason that I didn't get my normal score of around 150, 151, 152 was because of not being able to guess, just based on the fact that LSAT Max's user interface is different, because when you pick an answer choice in LSAT Max's user interface, on the practice tests, it automatically moves you to the next question. Whereas with the real LSAT and Law Hub, which I highly recommend doing your practice tests on Law Hub. And so on Law Hub, let me just say a few things about Law Hub, and I'll tell you why I recommend it. Law Hub has many of the practice tests, not as many as LSAT Max has on there, but they have many of them. And they have it's the interface you're going to use when you take the test. So why would you not do that? I didn't do it the first time, so I'm glad I had time to do it again, time to do the test again. Hopefully that will result in a better score, a significantly better score, say. So the reason that Law Hub is better, or it's good to use Law Hub, is because it's the user interface you're going to use when you take it on test day. And this is what I was going to say, is that one advantage to go in the opposite direction for a guy like me, this is just totally anecdotal, I don't know if this will help anybody else, but for what it's worth, using the LSAT Max's interface for prep tests is harder. It's the color scheme is red. You don't have the answer choices right out to the right. So if you've taken the LSAT yet, or if you've used Law Hub, you know that on, let's say, logical reasoning, well, for any question, whether it's logical reasoning or logic games or reading comp, you're going to have in the middle of the screen over here is going to be your this may be backwards, so anyway, one side of the screen is going to have the specimen, let's say, the passage that you're dealing with, and then over to this side right up here is going to be your question, and then down here is going to be your answer choices. And now, so you're looking at the question and the answer choices in the question all in one screen. So that's good on Law Hub. You can't do that on LSAT Max's screen. Now, it may be that I have the text bigger, so that affects it some, but LSAT Max just has the whole thing like movable, right? And so that difference, I think that LSAT Max's interface is harder to use. It's harder on my eyes to read that and look at it. And so I actually experienced some relief when I went into Law Hub when I went into the actual LSAT in August, having never taken the test before. I actually was like, hey, this is actually easier to use and nicer. And so I guess what I'm trying to say is resistance training, so to speak. LSAT Max's user interface gives your mind resistance, gives my mind resistance training. And so that means that when I go from doing it on LSAT Max and then after that go to doing it on Law Hub, I find that Law Hub is easier. Therefore, if I have been training with LSAT Max's user interface, I should do better on the actual LSAT. So that's what I was going to say about why it was actually kind of good to be doing a lot of practice tests on LSAT Max's user interface versus doing them all on Law Hub, because then when you get to Law Hub, you've been doing it that way. And so the kind of the other side of that coin was the surprise for me about not having enough time to guess and what they call bubble. So anyway, it's Friday today, and today on my schedule is a practice test. Little quick update, if I didn't say this before, I did have to take a test. I did have to take a single class this term. So it's a live class on campus, and so it's a 16-week course, and it's on argumentation and debate, obviously useful as a lawyer. And so I couldn't pass that up because it's not going to come up again while I plan on being there. And so the cool thing is that there's some practicum on it, right? Of what I'm learning in the LSAT is being practically applied. And so that's really good for somebody like me. I'm not dealing with it all abstract, but I'm getting real training in building arguments and analyzing arguments that are going to really be exchanged between people in a live setting. So that's good. I couldn't pass that up. Also, my academic schedule requires that I continue doing something called PLA, which I'll just describe shortly here. PLA is something where you have prior learning application. As you see, I'm not 22, so I've got some life experience, and I've done some things. And in I ran a business, and in doing that, I was able to amass some university level learning on especially business course type work. So I'm able to put together a portfolio of things that I've done, or just prove based on the course objectives that I have learned the things that are in that. And so that's something that I have to do to amass a few credits. So I'm doing 1 day a week where I go to class. 2 days a week, Tuesday and Thursday. I go to class in the morning. On Tuesday, I still come home and do LSAT work after class. But then on Thursday is just a complete day of non-LSAT. I still, like last night, I still watched some videos and worked on a little bit of logic games, because that's my, for whatever reason, huge weakness. I understand them, I just can't get them done fast enough. And so that, that may be a little forward, because there are some that I don't understand. And I get to a test and, drop the ball and just can't get it done. So if I had time, obviously that's, everybody's complaint, so nothing new there. Anyway, so that's just a little update. Today I'll do a practice test. It's Friday, and then there are 2 or 3 more Fridays between now and test day, but the third Friday will be the Friday before I take the test, which is on Sunday at 10:30 a.m. It's the same time I took it last time. I just don't want to disturb my family. They'll be at church while I'm taking it, and then that just requires them to stay away from the house for a few more hours after church. No big deal. So that's why I did it on Sunday. But that Friday, I won't be doing a full practice test, just to give my brain a rest, I think. I think that's what I did last time, and I was pretty happy with. It obviously didn't get the score I wanted, but I was happy with my sort of mental state at the point when the test came around. So I'll be discussing with my tutor strategy for the end of my time here, and I really don't have time for another one, so I really I don't want to put a whole lot of pressure on myself and say, man, you gotta, and make myself all crazy about it. It is what it is. This is the time I have. If I don't get the score that I need now, I am going to have to start looking at alternative alternative schedules, possibly delaying a year, or I don't know what. So not good options, but there we are. That is my update, and thank you for taking the time to have a look, and I hope anything I said in here was helpful. And give me a like and a subscribe. Appreciate your viewership, and if you throw your information down in the comments, I'll come over there and follow your channel too. So have a good day.